When people talk about the Trinity, God said, let us make them in our image. And so most people think that's a physical image, which it probably is. The five senses, I'm sure God has. And we have a tongue that speaks, and animals don't have that. But people try to say, make sense of it. God is 3 in 1. They say, he's like an egg, a shell, yolk, and whites. He's like an apple, the skin, the core, and the flesh. But I remember asking God, help me understand, to understand, and help others understand, I guess. And so when I read the Bible, I would see spirit, soul, and body. And I realized, I think, is that how God made us? Is that he's 3 in 1 and we're 3 in 1? That makes so much more sense to understand it. Image bearer. So, because the soul is ourself, who we are, willpower, physical body, 5 senses, but the spirit is our way of connecting with God. It's our God consciousness. And so, they say that people who are born once, die twice. Those who are born twice, die once. And then that makes sense because a believer, they're born again. They're physically born and then spiritually born, and then they die and they get to be with God. So they're only separated from their body and then they're with God. And that might be what's scary about death, is because we've always been 3 in 1. We've never been away from our body. And so suddenly, like death, and thinking, I'm leaving my body. What's to come? Well, God gives you a new body if you actually live for him. Not just say you did, not just say a prayer once. You have to live for God. You have to be in obedience. You got to be making the choices. You can't give into the bodily flesh, okay? The spirit's supposed to rule the soul. The soul is supposed to rule the body. The world has it backwards. They let their soul feed their bodily appetite, and the spirit just tags along. We can't have that. Our God consciousness, our spirit needs to be ruling the soul, and the soul must tell the body no. And I guess that's where you get stronger when you fast, because you're saying no, you're denying self. Fast from whatever you need to. But then those who are physically born once, they physically die, and then they spiritually die. So they die twice. And that's where it must get scary, because when you die, your body separates, your soul and spirit separate from the body. But then the spiritual death, your soul now separates from your spirit. And that's the eternal damnation. And so now it's just a soul. No spirit, no God consciousness, no connection to God anymore. My dad used to say that's why hell is so awful, because you're disconnected from God for eternity. And your body is gone. You don't have a new resurrected body. So that should be scary enough for people to say, wow, yeah, today isn't worth it. It's so short. The days go so quickly. 80 years is gone in the blink of an eye. We're but a passing shadow, as David would put it. So we should definitely think of the eternal. Every day we live, it should be, how can I serve God? Because I'm storing up treasures in my eternal life. This is our pilgrimage, right? This is our tent, as Peter put it. That you don't put all your resources into your tent, your temporary home. You put all your resources into your permanent home. I was listening to a mathematician yesterday, and he just made sense. We focus too much on the here and now, which is gone so quickly, and eternity is a lot longer than today. So that's how I see image bearers, or how we're created in God's image, is the 3 in 1, and not sure if that's correct, but that's, I would ask God, help me understand, and because no one else could really understand or explain it. They're like, the egg thing makes no sense, the eyeball thing makes no sense, the apple thing makes no sense. So this one makes sense to me. It's the one body, 3 in 1.